The baby Hunslet, the Quarry Hunslet, now has wheels on it. It doesn't have coupling rods or anything like that, but it's got wheels on it. And this is enough for me to prove or not the steam system that I've rigged up. As a reminder, I've got a misting unit in the smoke box. I've got a card, which is the driver that comes with the mister unit. There's a reservoir in here, a printed reservoir, which fills via one of the two tubes in the filler there. And to make it operate from my point of view, I have a disc on the axle, printed disc, with 4 magnets in it at 90 degrees each. And in fact those magnets are north, south, north, south, so the poles reverse every 90 degrees, and that should give me, for want of a better word, a defined chuff every 90 degrees, which is what I want. And then I've mounted a reed switch close to the magnet disc, and in fact that's on the compensation bar. In the middle of the axle there's a bar running fore and aft for the axle to rock on, and I've just mounted the reed switch on that bar. Electrically, I have a 5-volt relay in there, which is triggered by the reed switch, and that relay switches the voltage from an exciter voltage, which is the 5 volts plus a 1 kilo ohm resistor, which is a constant feed to this board. This is the relay, incidentally. It's a very small, neat little relay, and that's the resistor, and that feeds an exciter voltage, a very small voltage, to this board, which keeps it warm, for want of a better word. And that means that when I put a full voltage of 5 volts to it, it'll operate instantaneously, whereas without that it'll take about a second to warm up and give a chuff, which of course is no use to me at all. So electrically that's what I've got. In reality, when the whole thing's finished, I'll have a radio control receiver in circuit, and I'll have one channel dedicated to the steam, and that'll provide the power to the relay to give steam. So at the moment I've just got a voltage from a power supply under the desk, giving it the 4.2 volts, simulating a battery. So hopefully when I move this, the disc on this leading axle will trigger the reed switch, which in turn will trigger the chuff. Let's see, let's hope. So yes, we're getting a chuff that correlates to the revolutions of the wheel. Now, that actually equates to 4 per wheel revolution. Now, there may be some fine tuning to do, I don't know, but effectively that is giving me steam chuffs that come on and go off according to what will be the motions of the cylinder, but of course driven by the wheel revolutions. So at the moment, that I think is a success. As I say, what we don't have in there is the receiver, and this will be driven off probably one of the P outputs of the receiver, and that will drive the relay, so it's a very low power output on the receiver, and it's a Deltang receiver. I should be using the RX41, which is a teeny little thing, about 11 mil square, and that's going to be great. As a side note, the Maxon gear motor that's supplied with this runs far too fast, so I shan't be using that. I shall instead be using my old friend, either an N20 or N30 gear motor. That's the Maxon gear motor supplied to go with it, but as I say, it runs far too fast, and I should be using one of these little things to power it, or the N30, which has a slightly larger motor, a slightly longer motor. This is a 20mm motor, and the N30 has a 30mm motor, so it's a bit larger, and it's a teeny motor in comparison, but strangely already I know, having tested it, this thing is a bit more powerful than this supplied motor anyway, so I'm quite confident that one of these will power it. And that's where we are thus far. I'm very pleased with progress. This has a lot of promise for genteel indoor use. It's going to look quite nice. And as I say, as I said on an earlier video, at full blast, as it were, just running like this, it will last about 45 minutes. So chuffing, it's going to last, I don't know, probably an hour and a quarter, something like that, before requiring a refill. So that's perfectly manageable. So I'm very well pleased with the progress on that. I have on some websites put up a circuit diagram that I've drawn up for this on the Narrow Gauge website and Western Thunder, if people are interested. It's actually a very simple thing, doesn't require much in the way of components at all. Simply to buy this relay, this little 1 kilo ohm resistor, and of course the mister unit, and if you're radio controlling it, of course you need the RX41 or equivalent receiver. So there's not a lot to it at all, and an on-off switch and charging sockets and things. So there we go.